shoot, yep, I was talking. Yep, I'm bringing them all in right now. Rachel. Does anybody know Rachel Jupp?
I expect that these are community members.
Okay.
Welcome, folks. We'll get started in just a moment. All right, I call this special business meeting of the South Whitby School Board to order. We have a very short agenda here tonight. Director Jackson typically reads our land acknowledgement, and she will not be here tonight. I usually turn to Director Greenherron next. Would you like to take us through that, Director Greenherron?
I'd be honored. South Whitby School District would like to begin by acknowledging that we gather on the ancestral homelands, originally known as Chikolche and Lushootseed, of the coastal Salish peoples, on the lands of the Lower Skagit, Tulalip, Snohomish, Stillaguamish, and Suquamish, who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin since time immemorial, and have hunted, fished, gathered, and taken care of these lands. We respect their sovereignty and their right to self-determination, and we honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and water. Please join me in expressing our deepest respect and gratitude to the Indigenous people of this territory and for their enduring care and protection of the land in which we currently occupy and share through the Treaty of Point Elliott, signed by 82 tribes in Mukilteo on January 22nd, 1855.
You're muted, Brooke.
Thank you. I clicked it, but apparently it didn't take. Thank you, Director Greenherron. This is a special business meeting. We try to limit the number of these that we do, but occasionally we do them for the purposes of time-sensitive matters, of which this is one of them. If there are folks from the community who are present who would like to make public comment, because this is a business meeting, even though it is a special business meeting, they may do so by using the Q&A function, which is down under the More tab on Zoom. Please just enter your name and location first so that we know there's going to be public comment, and then you can start typing up your comment to be read into the record. If there isn't anything in the next minute or two, we'll move on to the sole item on our agenda, which is a new business item. So we'll give it just a minute or two. Seeing nothing in the Q&A to signal that anyone is looking to start typing anything up, we'll move on to new business. Our only item tonight is, just a moment, is Memorandum 2526-06, approval of the Guaranteed Maximum Price, GMP, for General Contractor Construction Manager, GCCM, contract for the South Whitby School District Facilities Modernization and Upgrades Bundle, Phase 2. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Clifford, Mr. Field, for some description on what this is before we get into debate and voting.
Thank you, Director Wilford, and for the entire board of directors who are able to make it today. It is rare that we do a special board meeting. Over the last two board meetings, I've given you an update on the bidding process, which has now concluded. And our general contractors are ready to move forward with finalizing those bids. And they've diligently followed all the legal requirements and ensured proper contract coverage for our projects. And we need to get board approval on this final contract amount so that they can move forward with executing the contracts and securing our subcontractors. I really appreciate us having this special meeting. I know that this is rare. There are legal timelines that we have to meet to formally respond to the bid proposals. We want to make sure that we lock in our estimated cost for each project before prices increase. And most importantly, we don't want to delay the start of our work. So thank you again. I'm going to hand it over to Paul and team to share our proposal or share the estimated cost.
Thank you, Dr. Clifford. I have Tom Rooks from Parametrics with us here. He's our own representative. Jeff Ludeman from Integris is also here. And then I have Kurt and TJ from Absher, who's our GCCM contractor, who we selected at the beginning of this project to be our general contractor through the entire project. So what's on the screen now is the list of bid packages that were bid in the phase 2 round of bidding. The subcontractor that was awarded to is in the far right column that's shown available. We had multiple bids on almost everything. And then when you see where there's an allowance, that's an item that we either got a bid that we couldn't accept because it didn't follow bid protocol, so we will rebid that at a later date. And then the items at the very, very bottom, Christy, if you can scroll down just a little bit, those items where there isn't an estimated value, that's work that we're adding, additional work that we're adding to the phase 1 contractor. So the contractor is already selected from phase 1 and the scope of work isn't very large. So we're just awarding it to the contractor that's already on board because they're familiar, because we've gotten into the work, we've identified areas that we need additional work beyond the original scope of phase 1, but we're adding it here to include it in the final GMP with Absher, this phase 2 GMP. The very last one is elevators. We know we have elevator work to do. We have an estimate roughly with an allowance built in, so that's just put on there as well, so we can work through Absher to get that elevator work identified. Chris, if you can scroll just a little bit to the right on the screen, so you can see where we had variance. That far right column is the over and unders from the original estimate that we got to do this work. The estimated value was done several months ago, so as we started putting the bid packages together, we had to rearrange items to make it more attractive to bidders. A good example of that is the civil work that's under the estimate by $3.6 million, but the field work that's over by $800,000. One of the reasons that the civil work is under is because the field installers really wanted to do the base layer work for the field. So they want to own it, digging it down and building it back up. When the estimate was made, that was included in the civil package. So there's things like that that drive a lot of these over and unders. The electrical, we had 4, which is the one above, that's $1 million and $1,033,000. We had 4 bidders bid that work, and they were all comparative. So we're very confident on that number is good. The civil work, part of it was the field is causing the change. Another part is we took part of the civil work and put it to the structural work. The civil's digging in the dirt and ground and things, but to help with the siding and work around the foundation of the building, we took stuff out of civil and added it to the structures package to help with the timeline, because the people doing the siding wouldn't have to wait on a civil. 2 contractors, you put it with one and they can move at the pace they need to. So that is the majority of the variances. The HVAC one that is under, we held a special meeting with that contractor to double and triple verify they are confident in their number. So it came in low, it's lower than the estimate, but we have reached out with the vendor and talked it through, and we're confident that they're confident that they bid it correctly. With that, that's the main reasons with the bidding that we had going on. We do have some other things we'll bid along the way. where we have good allowances or understanding where we think the bids will come in for that stuff that wasn't fully bid. That's where they say allowance in that second to the left column or right column. And with that, I can try to field any other questions and feel free. We have the whole team on here, the Integris, Absher, and Parametrics team to try to field any questions you may have related to this.
I have a question. First of all, Mr. Field, Dr. Clifford, thank you for all this detailed information. If you scroll down to the bottom, it shows the total of phases 1 and 2, 66.34 million. So that's shy of the funds we raised through the bond. Can you explain the, excuse me, can you explain the difference?
Yeah, so this is the contract this represents only the contract with Absher Construction. So we also have a contract with Parametrics and contracts with Integris to do both the work at the elementary and the middle high school. This doesn't show up in that $66 million number. We also have permits, fees, and other consultants that are outside of that contract that we're managing. And the statute also requires the district holds its own contingency of 5% of that $66 million number outside of the contract for if things come up. And we have a little more than that 5% currently. So when this contract is fully encumbered, I estimate we'll have a little over $5 million of unencumbered dollars for this project. But we have a lot of things still furnished by owner, installed by contractor, like our furniture and things of that nature that are still haven't been contracted, but will as we get closer to the need to do so. But we have a plan to fully spend the 2 bond sales in their entirety.
Thank you. That answers my question. And as always, not surprised that you've accounted for every last penny and are making sure to err on the side of being fiscally conservative. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we have things on the periphery as we're moving through this and we get through an area where we have like an allowance for steel framing, issues with steel framing. Once we get past that, that money that's held for allowance that we don't spend becomes available to potentially do other things, more, for example, more improvements in the parking lot or things of that nature. We have a list of stuff that we can try to do as we go along, but right now this is pretty well tied up and going to deliver all of those funds we have.
And I want to clarify, thank you so much, Mr. Field and team. There's a lot of diligence taken and many meetings to review and make sure that this was a lot of intentionality. This represents the base work. And what Mr. Field is talking about is the alternates, which was also part of the larger discussion and part of the original planning and what has been posted onto the website since the very beginning of the process.
Director Williford, you're not muted, but we're having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, it's not just you. I can't hear him either.
I think he's saying thank you and good job.
No.
Brooke, do you want Ann to take over? All right, Ann. I believe we have to call for a vote to approve this plan.
Okay, so in lieu of our chair being able to speak out loud on video screen, and please correct me if I get this wrong, but I would like to call for a vote for memorandum 2526-06, approval of the guarantee.
Gonna put our words in the. We won't forget about the student advisory vote. We have to put a motion on the table.
Sorry, I'm running two screens here.
You're good, Ann. Keep going.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, looking at Brooke's chat here. It's already on the table because we're debating it now. Okay, so we can move to the student advisory vote. Let's see. I saw Callahan. Did I see Lulu in the?
No,
She
Lulu.
is unable to attend.
Okay, so Callahan, will you share your vote, please? Your advisory vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Callahan. All right. Let me pop back up so I can read this. Okay. All approved for the memorandum 2526-06, approval of the guaranteed maximum price GMP for general contractor, construction manager contract for the South Ruby School District Facilities Modernization and Upgrades Bundle Phase 2. Please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Okay, memorandum 2526-06 has been approved.
And I believe we can adjourn the meeting now, right, Anne?
Yes, we can. And imaginary gavel. And I now adjourn this meeting. Thank you so much, friends. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.